You are welcome. And in this video, we want to look at the key performance indicators and look at some of the visuals of this report. This is the raw data that was given, and you can see we have the sales price, we have the gross sales, we have the net sales, then we have the cost of goods sold, then the expenses. So it wasn't as if we have the income statement or the cash flow or the balance sheet, which is the statement of financial position. So what are the visuals that we use in this Power BI for which this is the major KPI, which is the revenue that is being analyzed in this report. So you can see that's the reason why it is apparent. So we use the KPI card. We also use the same KPI card for the profit for the year, the profit margin, then the total orders. Then for this we use the star column bar charts. Then for this we use the area charts. Why for the revenue by product we still use the stacked column charts. For this we use the donut charts, while for the discount offered by sale states we use the clustered bar charts. So looking at this side, now let's talk about the revenue. Because why are we focusing on the revenue? If you look at the revenue, you see that there was a growth of over 200% from the prior year compared to the current year. A growth of 200%, over 200%, 209 precisely. So the question is, why the increase? Why the sudden surge in the revenue of this particular bakery? Now, in analyzing these reports, we came to realize that the last year that we are comparing, the prior year that we are comparing with this current year, is 6 months. So at times, investors may want to invest in a business like this, looking at it, wow, it has the revenue surge by over 200%, even the profit as well, over 200%. This is a good business to invest in, without looking at the common drivers of the revenue, without looking, does this business have an exceptional item or an extraordinary item in the course of the business? Let alone just looking at this report now without someone telling us that what could have been a major factor for this increase. Just like I said, the prior year is just for 6 months. The business started a year before, which was 2013. And the current year, which we have the revenue as 1,000,003, this is it. The revenue is for 12 months. Why this 325 is for 6 months? So you can see that we can't compare the two. They are incomparable. So it is not every metric that you can compare. So that's why you don't just look at it, you ask questions. So that is number one. So quickly, let's look at why do we have our revenue as the KPI? Revenue is a crucial financial metric that plays multiple roles in the overall health and success of the business. Is a crucial financial metric. You don't overlook revenue. Some businesses, they call it turnover, some call it sales, depending on the industry, depending on the kind of business that it is. But you can use them as synonyms. But just like I said, depending on the industry, depending on the type of business. So why revenue? Why is revenue so important that we are making it a major component of our key performance indicator? Revenue is the foundation for financial performance. Every other metric in the income statement build on revenue. They are built on the revenue because it is the top line item. Without the revenue, you don't have an income statement. because it is from your revenue that you are going to deduct your cost of goods sold, then you have your gross profit. From your gross profit, you deduct your operating expenses, then you have your EBITDA, if possible, and after which you have you deduct your depreciation, your amortization, then you have your operating profits or EBIT. Then you deduct your tax, you deduct tax, interest, then you have your net income. So that is why revenue is very important. Without revenue, income statement is impossible. You can't even determine your profit or loss. That's why it's so important, and you need to look at it. Is it growing? Has it grown over time? Because if it is growing, it shows that there is a demand for your product, there is a demand for the service of that company. But once it is declining, it shows that maybe we need to do some structural adjustment to our business line. Why is revenue important? It is the starting point for determining the growth of a company. It is the starting point. Let's look at the revenue. Is it growing? Is it improving year in, year out? You use it to determine the growth of the company. Also, it is used for VAT calculation, income taxes. Companies with strong revenue performance are better positioned for mergers and acquisition. When big companies want to buy, when they want to acquire smaller companies, or maybe they want to merge, they look for, it's a metric they look out for. How is their revenue? Are they driving the growth of their revenue? These are questions they ask. And the last one, growing revenue may indicate successful market penetration. Once you see a company that the revenue is constantly growing, it shows that the company is penetrating the market steadily. So that's why you use revenue as a key performance indicator. You don't overlook it. It's a major key performance indicator that you should look at when analyzing the financial performance of any business. Then look at the profit. The profit also grew. Then why do we have the profit margin in red? The profit margin is in red because when you compare the profit margin for the prior year, which was 2013, to this year, for 2013 it was 41.28%. 41.28. Why for this year? So there was a decline in the profit margin. Not a decline in profits, but a decline in profit margin. So while the total orders too also increased. So look at it. As for the business owner, you can see, you can begin to pick. Why do you do reports like this? Why, as a business owner? It helps a business owner to make informed decision. You can see for the banana bread now, which product is performing best, which one is giving us the highest profit margin, which one is driving our revenue. It helps us to know where to focus more, where to expand the market. It helps us to determine our level of expansion. You look at the corn bread, for instance, you can see as well, as this is an interactive report. It is an interactive dashboard. The moment you click on this, it changes. Whichever part you click on, it changes. Why? Because it is an interactive dashboard. So you can see the sardine bread, the sourdough, and the wheat bread. So this is a report that helps business owners to make informed decisions. Just by looking at it, just by going through it, even though it will be accompanied by reports. But the business owner can say, okay, is this business worth investing into? Okay, for instance, the business may even want to close down maybe a non-performing state, a non-performing location. From this report now, they can make that decision. For instance, it is Lagos that is performing least. In this case now, for instance, they may want to, the company may want to scrap, or they may want to stop producing the least performing products. So by revenue, looking at it by revenue, it is sourdough this is a good indicator. This is a good report to make the decision. Or they may decide, okay, let's give it more here. For instance, look at the discount level, which means, okay, we have 57.7 as the high discount level. This kind of report helps business owners compared to when you just have a raw data like this. And that's why accounting is boring to some business owners. They don't just want to go there. But when you have accounting in this form, then it becomes relatable. It becomes something that you enjoy. You enjoy viewing. You just want to know what is happening with the business. Or as an investor, you want to know, is this business worth investing into? How is their revenue? How is their profit? How is their profit margin? How are they faring in all the products they are producing? Are they all performing well? Or is there anyone we need to maybe outsource? We need to scrap? These are questions that business owners make or intending investors make based on reports like this. So if you have any question, thoughts, or comments, kindly drop it in the comment section below. And if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly do by clicking on the subscribe button. Click on the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I release a new video. So we meet in our next video. Stay blessed.